Welcome everyone back to our tactical series with Leeds United. We're playing against Manchester City in the first game in today's episode. As you can see, I have moved house finally, and that has meant a slightly different setup with recording. Now, the setup that I've got right this second is currently a temporary one. I actually want it to look a bit different when I actually get my stuff moved around. I have got this current setup. It could be a temporary one or it could stay the same. I actually don't know yet. It depends on quite a few factors. Didn't have the smoothest transition to moving into the place, so unfortunately this is the earliest I could get a video out. It's going to be recorded today being Tuesday, and if my temporary internet is quick enough, I can get it uploaded today. It is temporary internet though, and as you can imagine, it is a little slower than the internet I had before, so it really does depend on that. Any feedback on the visual or the audio changes, do let me know in the comments. It is really appreciated. There's certain limitations to what I can do for right now, but if I change and I move to a different room in the house, which I might do for at least my recordings, we can make it look and sound very different anyway. But yeah, do let me know because I want it to be as good for all of you watching, listening as possible. So once everybody gives me the okay that this all looks and sounds okay, I will just smash the videos out. We'll get them recorded and uploaded as often as we can. And yeah, with that being said, let's get into today's episode. Interesting one. Not only is it now a massive step up in terms of opponents, we've got 3 title challengers all in a row, but they also all play different formations, don't they? They all play, well, City play 4-3-3 that goes into a 3-2-4-1 or a 3-2-5, whatever you prefer to call it. Chelsea could be something quite similar. In any case, let's take a quick look at City first. We know they're going to play 4-3-3 as their base formation. And don't forget their base formation. All that really means is that from a goal kick, they'll start off something like this. So, going back to episode 1, I talked about my UEFA B team and how when we used our 4-3-3 out of possession shape, how when you come up against somebody playing the same shape as you, when in possession for them, that can cause a few problems in the midfield, especially. And you're going to have to think about how you're going to match up against them. And if, like me, you want to try and get 2 players pressing that back line, you could be very careful how you go about that. The first problem is that if they play out past you, right, this is the first problem that I always had, was ignoring the play out even for now. If they get past you, the issue is this. So you've got this sort of scenario here. What tended to happen quite a bit is, even if he's slightly further back here, 2 midfield players are starting to come back, is you might get a scenario where it could go to any player, then the number 8 sort of comes in here, it drags the attention of the CDM, and then as they start doing that, he plays it across the other central midfield player, and now you've got a really bad situation because there's nobody protecting the back line, and he starts running in, and you get these scenarios here. You're basically 2v2 at the back, so you want to be very careful that you don't get your CDM isolated versus 2 players. That's very important. And also, if he does, to try and edge on the side of caution, that if it goes to number 8, we don't want to come out and do this. We want to try and stay as central as we can without just letting him run straight through at the defensive line. So that's the coaching point for the 4, is to make that consideration decision if it ever happens. But we don't want that to happen. Ain't going to happen anyway, is it, number 4? Because this is what we're going to do. We go on the match day, we set the team up to press them in the 4 at the back shape, and they play that against us. Right, solutions. You can just do this. Of course, you could just go like, if the ball goes to the left side and Calvert-Lewin does his job, you could do something like this where the 8 sort of stays on the 8 and the 10 goes onto the 4, and you could leave this player to be marked potentially by the wide player, and you leave the opposite player completely spare in the back line. You could do that straight away. That is something you can do, and you leave your CDM completely free. But as you'll notice here, the one problem with doing it this way is that you don't get the second player pressing the defensive line. So if that is the solution you go for, and you leave the pivot player to be the protection, you get the man-for-man in midfield, we get the same shift across, everything else looks good, but we don't get that second player pressing, do we? Right, okay, so that can't work. So all we're going to do is something really, really simple, and we're just going to invert our midfield to match up to theirs. So instead of it being 4-3-3, you just go 1 in here, 1 in here, and all of a sudden it's a 4-2-3-1 out of possession, but a 4-3-3 in possession. So that's all we're going to do against them, is we're going to do that. But the same thing still applies here, right? We've still got to try and get that second player pressing, so that's where we're going to have to be very clever how we do it. And then to get that second player on the defensive line, there's 2 different ways we can really go about this. One is something that we've not really done so far, and it's where we use the striker to offset, of course, like we always do. So he offsets it. But then in this situation, the number 7 starts higher, and he immediately, like, we force them to the side we want. Then he starts high, he goes straight for the centre back, which would then mean that I need my fullback to come and be aggressive up here, and then the defensive line slides around. And the danger with this is it can become like a 3v3 if they bypass the press. That's the aggressive style of it there, so you get more of an aggressive approach with that one. You could do it that way. That's one option. The other option is we keep it sort of the same, and the number 10 jumps out, and then the number 4 is going to have to jump onto the other number 4. Or it could be that the 8 goes up and the ball goes across, whichever way you do it. But yeah, it's just another sort of like everybody moves across one. Or maybe the most balanced approach is this one. So we force it to one side, Calvert-Lewin goes across. Now, nobody jumps in this one. Everybody stays man for man. The only player out of the whole team that actually does anything here is the far side winger. So once Calvert-Lewin, or whoever the striker is, forces them out, and the body language is indicating it's going to go here, and we're being a bit careful here and here. As long as we're able to do that, the number 11 can then jump onto the defensive line, and we're leaving this pass completely open. So as long as the situation isn't like this, and there's a massive gap for him to take like one touch forwards and then like a second one to get out, as long as that isn't on, that exact scenario there, as long as that isn't on, we can force them out. We can be pretty confident they're not going to try and play that pass across the defensive line. But again, if they do, that's absolutely fine. If they do that once or twice and get out, I'm happy with that, because by the third or fourth time, they're definitely going to make a mistake and start turning over the ball or giving us opportunities to win the ball in their own third. We're going to probably start off with that one, where the opposite wide player starts high and we shift them across. Because it's, first of all, it involves less rotations in midfield. It should be pretty simple. The only thing I have to do really is offset Calvert-Lewin. We're going to go with 2 wingers, maybe even 2 tracking wingers, so that a tracking winger is going to behave like a normal winger in the opposition's defensive third. But then once they play out and they get past us, they're running back, high energy, high work rate to go and help us try and win the ball back. We could say, for example, that this one is a tracking winger and this one is not, to sort of indicate that he is the more attacking one. He's going to be the one that's going to be on the defensive line. You could even make him an outlet, right? We could even say to you, go and be an outlet and try and be a bit more of a threat on the defensive line. Maybe like an inside outlet, so he sort of starts off in that sort of shape. So they sort of are always going to be in a 2, either while the team is defending deep, these 2 are sort of together, then when we're pressing, they're going to be pressing together too. You can try and force those scenarios a bit more in the tactics creator. So that's going to be the plan for Manchester City. Probably not going to use an outlet for City, gotta be honest with you, but we'll see how it goes. Like, if we're really struggling to get out, but we're defending okay, rather than wait for the inevitable goal to go in, I'll probably change him to an outlet and try and give us an outlet, an outball to try and get out the defensive third if we're defending for sustained periods in front of our own goal, which is very likely in this match. That's the plan. Let's see how it goes. That's probably going to be the plan for both matches. Okay, so I'm going to show you something for the first time here in the series. What you've got here is in the pre-match flow, so not in the tactics screen, but in the pre-match flow. When you go to change your tactics, you've got an option here for all matches or just for the next match, right? So what we're going to do, we know we've got City, we're going to play the 4-2-3-1, but only for the next match. We don't want to change the whole tactic. So the changes that we make here are going to only apply into this match. So what we're going to do, we're going to go 4-2-3-1 against him, aren't we? So we're going to go 2 pivots here. Going to go with a number 10. Going to make him a tracking number 10 as well. Going to keep Basuma. I'm not going to make him a presser. He's got to stay on the 8s, right? That's his job. We'll go with 2 tracking wingers on the 2 sides. And we'll go with that and see how we get on against City. Going to say there's no pressure on us at all. We'll ignore the interviewer yet again. Unfortunately for us, that is not a weakened team. You can see City have got their 3 at the back here. Their 3-2 shape is very, very evident. So Foden's got on that really easily behind Basuma. Haaland goes through. He probably should have scored. So right early on there, I'm not very happy with Basuma's marking, really. We'll have 2 screeners. Don't even move, lads. You just sit there and just protect. And if they run into you, great. But when I say run into you, I mean like run into your space, in your vicinity. Basuma. Okay, back to this. Okay, we're playing some silly stuff at the back. That's a great switch out, isn't it? Play him in. No, he was there. And Calvert-Lewin's probably offside now. But a good opportunity there. We need to really focus on this, I think, as well. In possession is looking at... I do not like this. Haaland just running through against our defensive line. Uh-oh, that is... No, referee. There was no foul there. Okay, it was a foul, but it was also the area. I'll admit it was a foul, ref, but it was also the area. No, do not give a penalty. Yeah, great decision, referee. Love that. Here is the resulting free kick, which is going to go straight over the bar. Far post headed away. It's going to be a second phase one now. Foden gets it. Gavardiol back into Foden. Right, okay. Just look at my structure. Yeah. Let's watch the replay of that goal. Goes back. I mean, it does take a deflection, which we're going to give the benefit of the doubt to the goalkeeper. It took a deflection. So Harden into Savinho. Savinho on the right hand side. He's going to cut back onto his left foot as he gets across his block. So he get way to Aydin. Now, can we try and find somebody? Can we get somebody? That's a great little term. That is. Calvert. I mean, are we looking along the line here or what? Badanti gets it, goes inside, drives straight past the player. He's going to get the ball right into the area, gets into Aydin. Referee, what? Leaf Davis has it still. Goes past his player. Looks to link up with somebody, does he? In here, Leaf. Okay, far post cross. That's fine as well. That's fine. Paulo Henrique is completely free on the edge of the area. Decides that taking a shot from there was the right decision. That goes to the side we want. But then Gnonto's got to... Okay. So then they get out to that side. Okay, let's change that. I want Gnonto to step up. But then this player has to make sure that they follow their man. So if we go with that, right, as a concept. Yeah, because like, Gnonto here needs to really be offset a bit more. But, so the issue I've got is this, right, is that even if Gnonto was back here in the position he should have been, this player's just too free. So I'm going to make him a pressing fullback, so try and get a bit tighter here. And we'll see if we can try and get some better pressure. But Dominic Calvert-Lewin was not happy really with this. Okay, that last change I made hasn't actually gone through yet. The pressing DM and the pressing fullback. So this is still happening now. We've got the ball. Aydin, they fall into a trap. Aydin gets it on the left-hand side. Surely goes to the right to Gnonto. Gnonto gets it. Do we have an overlap? No, we don't. He's going to pass him, though. Can you cut it back to somebody? Cuts it back to Bissouma. Bissouma shoots, and the keeper saves it. That was perfect. Calvert-Lewin saying to him, there's no way that this is going to come here and then continue to go this way. Like, he plays the ball here anyway. Calvert-Lewin straight in, forces a long pass. We're going to get to that now because we should be getting to that because we've got the pressing fullback and we recovered the ball. So, pretty good that was from the boys, I would say, in that situation. It's not always going to go perfectly every time, right? It's going to be a bit chaotic and messy in, those high-pressing situations. In those high-pressing situations, we got any pressure on him from Bissouma? We don't, but we win the ball back anyway. Bissouma into Badanti. We've won the ball back really well, but it's counter-attacking in that's a yellow card. Referee, come on, ref, just book him. I mean, I appreciate the tactical foul, just bloody book him, because we were away then. How many players do we have running off him? Look, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players running, and I really want to see our half-space runs from our attacking field players. So it's very possible that we do go to 2 genuine number 10s. Badanti gets it into Aydin. Aydin to Gnonto. He's got some space here. He's going to use Bissouma. Gets a shot at that. Oh, that was a good effort, that. Yeah, let's try this. Let's go with that. Before the change is made, though, it's going to go to Gnonto on the right-hand side. He's going to use Bissouma as he... Oh, it's just not quite. Like, those movements are not happening just quite enough. And, oh my goodness me. What have we done? We turn over the ball. Mamushi goes through. Erling Haaland's making a run. He's obviously going to get it. And he's obviously going to score. 2-0. Okay, after we're going to say I want to see something better in the second half. Right. We're not creating an awful lot apart from the things that you've seen. We haven't created loads ourselves, but I didn't expect us to create lots of chances against Manchester City away in the first season. We've done all right, though, I think, in a lot of the areas, as they just go straight past us here. And they're going to run at the defensive line. The left centre-back, is he going to get across? Suddenly, oh, my goodness me, Leif Davis, what are we doing? It's another throwback challenge from a fullback in the Leeds team. That's going to be a penalty. Might be a red card. And if it's a goal, I'll see you at the end of the game because this game is over. Haaland penalty. Shoots. I mean, fair enough. Right, I've decided I'm going to go for the game. They're going to beat us anyway. They're just absolutely battering us now, creating chances. We need to get goals. We need 2 goals here. So I've decided to go for something very, very attacking. This is going to be our go-to tactic to try and get a goal in the game. Like you say, Jack, that looks ridiculous. However, just wait. There's method in the madness. 2 strikers. What we get? We get our number 10, Baldanzi, effectively goes and beats the striker. Fine. Looks good. 2 wide players stay as they are. Fine. No movements. Bissouma goes up to be an attacking midfield player. Okay. The 2 fullbacks go into AMC. So They're basically like an inverted wing back that's very aggressive. That's all it is. That they're just an inverted wing back that goes really aggressive and goes forwards. I could put them maybe central midfield as well instead. We could maybe do that instead, actually. Get a little diamond midfield. Should we do this instead? Let's do that. Channel midfielders either side. Let's go with that. So we'll put them two there. So they're going to go into midfield and try and then build from there. Stack is the solo DM, but he's a halfback. And the reason he's a halfback is that once we build possession, I want us to have like a genuine back three once we get post rotation. But before that point, I don't want us to just have a flat three and then only have the wide forwards all the way up there, right? So, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to have them set up like this. So it's going to look like a wide three playing out. But then once we get to the rotations, it's going to be a more narrow one. So look at that. It's going to play out like this sort of shape. You've got a diamond midfield, two up front. So you got your diamonds, you got your two wide defenders. Then post rotation, though, as you can see, it goes from a wide back three into a like more orthodox narrow back three. Is it risky? Of course it is. We're losing. We're 2-0 down. They had a penalty. Like we're just getting battered anyway now. So we're just going to go for it and see what happens. Okay, highlight for City. Well, they start off with the ball at least anyway. Goes to Savinho. He's going to try and beat the player. We've got a lot of players heading the ball there. Doku's going to get it on the left-hand side, though. And he's going to play through. Oh, do we get to this? Oh, no, we nearly had him. Matthias Nunes is going to get to it, though, unfortunately. They're going to go inside with Doku. He goes straight inside, shoots, deflected. It's away. Dominguez plays it into Gudmundsson. Is he onside? Is he onside? Cuts inside. Go get a shot away. Gets a shot away. Just over the bar. There's a late highlight here. It's a corner. They're going to win the ball off us, though. They're going to counter. They've just cleared out the pitch. Now we should be getting to this easily. Shouldn't we, lads? Yeah, we are. Stack's going to get it right. If we score in this highlight, we've got a chance to come back for a draw. Because obviously we're just going for it. And because we're so reckless with... These NBL players. I am being let down. That's all I'm going to say. I am being completely let down here. That is just... Unfortunately, we need to get the players in to make that football happen because clearly we don't have them right now based off of that absolute shambles of a performance from the lads. After that absolute disaster, I'll see you in a week's time when we play against... Who we've got first? Liverpool first, the Chelsea, then Liverpool. At least it's at home. We've got a chance at the home matches. Okay, so Chelsea are actually going to play a 4-2-3-1 against us, not a 4-3-3. We're going to go with this. And I just want to see what happens when we go to this system where we're going to force them to the right-hand side, their left, our right. Basuma's going to jump out. We've got all these players over here. And then let's focus a bit on in possession as well in this match. So, okay, we're going to run on and press and be aggressive and try to win the ball back. But what's really important is making sure that we get players, the wide players, onto the ball and then trying to release the central midfield players. So because of that, I'm going to go to this, right? We're going to go with two AMCs. So yeah, it's going to look a bit like that with the striker offset, the two 10s being 8s out of possession, and the right-sided player being a winger in possession, then a midfielder out of possession. That is going to be your team, I think, for this one. And I'm going to play Bornau instead of Bijol because I can't really decide between them. And we just got absolutely smashed in the last match, so I've got to blame somebody. So I'm just going to blame Bijol for that one. Well, and Stack, and the goalkeeper maybe as well. Okay, so the assistant manager has finally sort of realised the running form we're on. So we're going to say, got to make it count to the lads. Yeah, cheers, Kieran. See you later, mate. We're just going to go straight into the pitch, please. So things to look out for. Is the pressing trap working, as always? And then the second thing to look out for, are we playing into the wide players? Are we trying to create those half-space runs that we've spoken about quite a bit that we've not seen too often just yet? Okay, win the ball back here. So I just want to see, let's zoom out quickly, where the options are. I mean, why have you not just released the ball, Leaf? Just release it, mate. Just, find a white shirt, give it to somebody who can play. That's it. Get on it now. Bloody get off it. He wants it all day. Straight in here, please, Leaf. Right. What actually happened there? Because I'm about to make some changes if he did not. Okay, he did play it to him. Good. And then Dominguez played it to Basuma. Okay, that isn't the pass that we want, but that's okay. If that's how the attack goes from there, I'm okay with that. Palmer gets on it. Oh, lads, what are we doing? Centre back, what are we doing? Yeah, you get yourself back in there. They're going to get the ball across. We should be okay here. Is it offside maybe even? Yeah, it's offside anyway. We're trying to force it wide, and I want to get it into the player's feet. The winger's feet is what we want. I don't really want it to play it into space. I mean, it's okay now. You can play it straight through here. Yeah, good. Okay, that was good. Badanzi gets it. I don't know where Calvert-Lewin's run into, but we could have done with him trying to get on the ball there. Leif Davis goes back, he hasn't got loads of options. Now he has. Now he tries to force it through into Dominguez. There's going to be a throw in the centre back who's going to play it into the winger. And then Basuma's going to make a run. Aren't you, Basuma? No. But Aydin was there anyway, it's fine. Because the fullback and the wingers were both there, it's okay. But I do want to see more of an effort, though, from my midfielders to get in behind there. Like, do I make it like a second striker? Like, just to really be aggressive on making those runs in behind. Like, moving to channels is definitely what we're looking for. Sod it, let's go with 2 of them. Let's see what happens. Okay, so focusing on our own goal kicks here. So we've got Basuma's high. So even though we're playing a 4-3-3 essentially with 2 AMCs, you can see how one of them, the ball side one essentially, has come deep to make it like a 2. That's exactly how I'd want them to play as well. So they're doing exactly what I would ask them to do in real life there, those 2. But now he's going to go up to the AMC sort of position. So we want it to get, well, that's fine if they intercept that. The intent was there. As long as we're trying to do the correct things, I'm okay with that. I could ask them to dribble less, so that I could really force it, but I don't want to absolutely force it. You know, I want to see the wide players still doing a bit of creative stuff and still trying their own things. I don't want to be just a fixed pattern every single time. That's a good ball though. Dominguez into Baldanzi. Baldanzi left hand side. Cuts it back to Leif Davis. That's wow. That isn't great, is it? Dominguez gets on the left hand side. He's going to cut inside, play it to Stack, who needs to play. Yeah, that's it. We need to play early. We need to play early in those situations. You know what? Keeping possession for the sake of it. We want to try and exploit if there's if we break through a line, we want to exploit it, right? If you get through that first line of the press, we want to punish them for it. And I was about to get annoyed with Leif Davis for another bad pass, but he's actually got it through a right, and Dominguez doesn't make much of it. Let's go much wider. Let's really stretch them as far as we can wide, as far as we possibly can wide, to give those AMCs as much space as possible to go and exploit within the middle. Okay, Leif Davis gets on the left-hand side. He's going to travel with it, and he's going to... He made the angle. Look at that little turn from him. Gets into Dominguez back in. So, like, the only issue I've got with Baldanzi playing as a shallow striker or second striker is that he's sort of going high really early and just staying there. He's not really making a run in behind. He's not really dropping to get on it, is he? Let's go back and watch it again. So Leif Davis, that's good. This is all good. This bit is good as well. So that's a brilliant little bit of footwork in there. Right, I want to see this now, like immediately. This is where I want you to be. Okay, we just want the ball back in our own half. Baldanzi, he's going to cut inside now to the right-hand side to Stack. Stack's got it. He's got width on the right-hand side. He wants to use it. He gets to Paulo Henrique. Okay, so let's freeze this here. So Paulo Henrique's got it. We've got an inside run from the winger, which is going to bring a few things here. Either Paulo Henrique takes a touch inside and tries to fizz it in to like a penetrating ball, or he's going to go on the outside while the fullback gets occupied on the inside. Whichever one works. He's going to sort of do neither. Oh, he's got it through the half space into Aydin. Goes across goal. Calvert-Lewin! What a goal that is from Leeds United. Beautiful football. That is going to be 1-0. And you don't often see goals like that after you've just been beaten about 5 matches in a row, or whatever it is. 1-0. Good goal. I really thought that Henrique were in this attack, like in that moment, but he held on to it. Aydin perfectly stayed in that half space, adhering to our philosophy, trying to get players within the half space. Like, usually it's going to be wide player, then AMC going to the half space, but on that occasion it was, and that's the whole thing up principles, right? Is that forget the formation, right? Completely and utterly forget the formation, right? This is the difference between like roles and responsibilities of a formation and just a principle. So my principle is that I like to have one player occupying a wide zone, right? So let's get it on the pet pitch here. So think of it as like this. The formation, this is where I think people get really hung up on formations, and it's not very clear how a manager can change formation, but the principle stay the same. And this is an example of it, right? The principle for me is I like to have somebody wide for the main purpose of stretching the back four, isolating the fullback for multiple reasons. One, if the fullback goes narrow, we can beat them on the outside from like a central pass. A central pass here would then be to the wide player. If he goes too narrow and my 10's got the ball, a well-timed pass in here is going to give him the opportunity to get past the defensive line and go through on goal. Of course, if the ball gets played out to him and the fullback comes out, opens the half space, runs. Like, a lot of the actions I like to see and that we're trying to create are from this initial situation. But for the half space to be open, which is this exact zone here, there has to be somebody wide. But it doesn't matter who it is. This is like a difference between a pattern and a principle. So if he goes in, I'm not going to go through it all again because we've been through it multiple times. But like if he goes in and let's say they're playing 4-2-3-1 and their CDM drops and the fullback goes in with him, it then opens up a space potentially to drive in. If the 4 doesn't go, he just gets played straight inside, in behind to the half space. So that's two scenarios. Or it could be that on this occasion, then, if the 8 or the 2 are slightly closer, the ball could now go back to one of them, and they can go and exploit the space right in front of the goal with the 9, 11, and the rest getting involved. So fixed pattern is at the start, and then everything else comes out of that is down to the players. But those are some ideas that we can come up with, right? We have some principles there. But for all of that to happen, somebody has to be wide. And usually it's going to be the wide player in a wide zone, half space player in the half space. However, football's a chaotic game, so I don't mind my number 7 dribbling inside, goes inside here, ends up in the centre of the pitch, right? I don't care if he ends up here. But now somebody has to go wide on this far side, because if we switch it, I want to make sure that we have that same exact principle if we need to. And what I'm trying to give the players is, if all else fails, we have these principles, our core principles of what we're going to fall back on, right? If we're struggling against a team, we're adhering to the principles and working attacks from these sort of scenarios. So there has to be somebody wide. If there's nobody wide, and it gets to the player here, we can't really exploit the half space, right? They can have a numerical advantage. There's going to be no space there. So in that situation, the 7, I don't actually know where the 7 and 10 were. So Basuma was out the way. We'll watch the goal back in a second. You've then got my midfielder who's in the half space. My number 2's on the outside, and it's just a simple rotation of the principle is somebody has to be wide, so he knows he's got to be wide if the 7 goes in, because he's the most logical player. But again, it could be a situation where, although that seems quite obvious to a lot of people, it could be that the 2's over here or something, and he goes and makes that run, and the number 8 is out here. And it might just be a situation where then number 8 ends up going just wide, because he knows we need somebody wide. And you see a lot of teams do this. Pep teams have done this before as well. The principle is the most important thing for us. You can then go into rules about how many players should be in a zone, especially in a vertical line. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. That's just 5 vertical zones. If you look at it that way, ignoring all the rest of it. So in possession, it's very easy to start to identify it once you look at it that way. But yeah, that's why I love that goal. It was everything we've designed, but it wasn't an exact fixed pattern, but it didn't need to be. Basuma was out occupying somebody else. We managed to pin them back, and the fullback then got involved, and that's what that fullback is there for. This fullback is not an attacking, overlapping fullback. We've got him going inside, being more aggressive. He is there if the attack is built up very successfully, or it's a really quick counter and there's space there, then he goes. But we're not asking him at the minute we get the ball to just start flying forwards. So he did it perfectly. He's there really to help prevent counter-attacks and be a bit more structured when we attack. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. That is exactly a perfect goal for my sort of philosophy without it being a fixed pattern. So I'm really happy with that. It was a great goal. Dominic Calvert-Lewin had a great finish. That's 1-0. So yeah, we'll just watch it again. So we win it back here with Baldanzi. And he starts running away with it, plays it into stack. And then, yes, we've got the fullback holding width here. Basuma's in here right now. Goes wide. So Basuma there is really narrow, and he's actually occupied the centre-back. We end up with like a bit of an overload here. So that's what's opened this up, is that he feels like he's got to worry about Basuma, because if you go back, Basuma's making a run into that area, isn't he? He's basically like a second striker, which is exactly the role that he's been given. So he goes in here, he occupies and threatens that he's going in behind, but he's not. Do you know what? I love this, right? This is something I've not even covered on the tactics board. I'm not going to get it up again. But sometimes when you make a run in behind, yes, it's to get the ball. Sometimes, yes, it's a decoy to create space. But sometimes it's just a little run like this. It just drags that defender back, right? And then you can check back out. And then look. So if that attack would have played out differently, if Paulo Henrique took a touch inside instead of outside, Paulo Henrique could be like maybe, I don't know, here. And then Basuma's in a really good passing line. Then you might see like a 1-2. So into Basuma, into the wide player. That's the kind of stuff that you get with those clever movements, double movements from players. But Basuma didn't get it. He didn't need to get it because it opened up the ball to ID. And the left centre-back was occupied by Basuma. Brilliant goal, Leeds United, in the philosophy, 1-0. Right, okay. Match engine, do not give them a bloody set-piece goal after that great goal. That great goal within our philosophy. Please don't give them a set-piece goal just to come back immediately. Come on now. No nonsense here. Come on. No, please no. Don't you dare. I'm seriously considering just leaving everybody up on corners, defending corners. All right then, good luck with that, lads. We'll leave 2 up. Okay, hello here. I didn't get to it on the right-hand side. He's going to drive inside with the ball. Keeps shoveling with it. Gives it to Leaf Davis. Plays the ball into Baldanzi. Baldanzi. He's a bit. I don't like how narrow Dominguez was, but it's worked out. He's got to cover. He's got to score. Surely he's got to score. It's another goal from Leeds United. Another brilliant Bielsa type goal. 2-1. I love this team in possession. and not playing up from the back in front of our own goal. But apart from that, the team's great. Yeah, so Dominguez wasn't really doing exactly what... He went a bit narrow early for my liking, but it worked out fine. He checked back out to get wide. Another little double movement. I don't think it was really... That wasn't really thought of ahead of time. It was like a reaction to what was happening. But Dominguez, fair enough. It's something that worked. It's slightly more narrow than we like, but he was still on the outside of the fullback. That is 2-1. Riviera plays it out to the wide player. Look at this football now. This is so much better. This is so much bloody better in possession. I swear to God, Leaf, if they score from this, yeah, good. I'm glad the goalkeeper didn't let that one in. But no, like, the build-up play to that point was really, really good. The passing from some of the central not just Leaf Davis, the other pivot player, sometimes we're getting a few of those, and we probably need to do slightly better at getting those passes through. I mean, of course, the better I get my team, the more successful they're going to be anyway. But I don't want to just be like, well, they're tactically fine once I get a world-class team. I want them to be good now, or as good as they can be as they currently are. I want this team to be good. And I have a very, very big tendency to just completely change the team every season in all my saves. Especially for... So I'd be... Oh, that's quality. Leaf Davis. Oh, look at the combination play. Please, lads. Come on, Leaf, get back on it. Get back on it. Yes, good. Do not give it away. But, like, to be fair to him, he's got to take that player on because Dominguez has made a run in behind. Anton Stack is not an option for the ball, which is not good. I might change Stack to being deep line playmaker because he should be trying to find the ball a bit more. I feel like he's a bit too isolated in that scenario there. He sort of forced Leaf to have to do something there, which he didn't really want to do. Leaf Davis, well done on this drive, by the way. Leaf Davis, quality stuff from you there, mate. I'll tell you what we'll do then, is we go back into... Again, this is why I love the in and out, right? Is I can make Stack a playmaker in possession to go and find the ball without having to make him a playmaker profile of a player out of possession, right? So it works out good. We're absolutely battering them, by the way. Not with possession, but we don't need it. We're being incisive with the ball, and we're controlling the game completely. Leaf Davis gets it now. Throws the ball into the back line. Anton Stack gets it. The new playmaker, Anton Stack. Go on, have a go. Have a go. Go on, Stack. Oh, he's gone straight in. Anton Stack has shown himself to be a playmaker. He goes through and scores. Everything I'm doing in this match seems to be working, and that is going to be 3-1. What a goal. Yeah, I think the two second strikers and the deep line playmaker, those changes are definitely going to stay as a permanent change to the tactic. Oh, double deflection. Oh, that must be sickening. All the times that Frank Lampard did that against other teams for Chelsea, they've just had one back there. That's 3-1. Come on. Half-time, we're going to say, don't get complacent. I've got to be honest, I don't know how many highlights you're going to see in the second half of this match. Nothing has happened. I don't know if a highlight has even happened, because I think that I just made subs, and that might have been it. So, anyway, 3-1 to Leeds United. What a win, boys. It was a really, really good performance. We defended well. I mean, they only scored a goal from that second phase corner. We scored goals, and we scored goals for the right reasons. The reasons we scored the goals were because they were adhering to the philosophy and the principles that we've got, rather than just the specific pattern. So I've got to be honest, right? I couldn't be much happier with that. That's probably the most complete performance we've had in the series so far. That was absolutely brilliant. I couldn't have asked for much more from the players. It was a home in a game that was on the back of like 4 games without a win and 2 defeats in a row. Like we weren't looking in a great bit of form, and I'm sure some of you are starting to doubt the process here, but we got there in the end. It's not just that we got the win against Chelsea, we did it for the right reasons. We're controlling the game slightly better, not just in terms of possessions, but the actual control of the game. We're preventing their chances, pressing better, and in possession, we're seeing a lot more progress to what we wanted to see and what we set out at the start of episode 1, essentially. Right, that is actually going to do it today. There's a few reasons why. I did say we'll play Liverpool as well, but we'll save that for the next episode. We'll do Liverpool. We'll definitely do the Liverpool game, and we'll see what else we want to do in here, but we'll definitely do that game in the next episode. I want to get this video edited and see if I can get this uploaded for today. Also, I just think that was really good, right? You saw two matches there. One went really badly, the other one was really positive, and it just feels like a good time to stop and record for the next one. So that is going to be today's episode. I absolutely love this. I love Football Manager. I love the tactics in and out concept, and I love being able to share it all with you. So yeah, I'm going to get away now and edit this video. Thank you to all of you. And like I've said before, you're never going to hear me going, oh, please like and subscribe. I don't do any of that stuff. So, but all I'll say is that every time you leave a comment, and because I mentioned this before in a video, there's lots of people that aren't going to watch the video the day it comes out because people are busy, they watch at different times, but they then might binge watch 3 or 4 episodes later. And if you're doing that and you're enjoying the series, for me, the most important thing is if you can leave some sort of comment every now and again, just to let me know that you are still enjoying it and you are still coming back to it, but you're just doing it in your own time, which is, it's always hard to go off the numbers. I'm aware that I could do other videos that get more views, but this is the type of series that I do. Now I've got my setup and I've got a way to record and stuff easily. We'll get these going. If this comes out on Tuesday, there'll be no video Wednesday. If it comes out on Wednesday, there should then be videos every day for quite a few days, apart from maybe Saturday, because I've got my academy team have got a match, or a tournament rather. But basically, now I'm set up in my place. There'll be videos coming out pretty much every single day, at least 4 or 5 times a week. So look forward to that. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon. What a win. We're making progress.